What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon, it's a Monday, and that can mean only one thing. We're checking out the world rankings to see what shifted up after that final weekend of the Autumn Internationals with some crazy results. We'll be going over the community polls to see what you guys picked over the weekend, and then finally checking out the final results of the Superbrew, which I've had some big exciting switches around, so looking forward to go through that one. So starting out with the world rankings. Now, not a lot of games to talk about. Obviously, we only had the 2 games on the weekend, so we weren't going to be affecting, you know, the top sort of place at any point going into this game, no matter really what the result came out to be. So South Africa went on to have that win over England. They gained some points, England lose some points. So the most important thing here is about that split gap now between the top 4 and sort of the rest of the world. 80, let's call it 89. Look how close New Zealand and South Africa are now to each other. 0.01. I mean, that is about as close as you can possibly be. So it's effectively like a joint third in terms of world rankings. Now, after that, there is like a nearly 4.5 point drop now to get to that 5th place. So the top 4 in the world really separating themselves out now from the rest of the world. England still hold on to that 5th place, but have dropped down quite a few points. It's going to take a lot for them to come back now across that 6 nations coming up next year. Australia, with that ridiculous comeback over a Wales team that's in all sorts of trouble at the minute, have managed to jump up to 6th. Now, I didn't think they would gain as many points as they did. I actually went back and had a look at last week's video, which actually had Australia at 80.64. So that just sort of shows you what they actually managed to score in that. 80.64. They've gone up by about 1.2 points. Let's call it that. It's about right. I didn't think they were going to get that much, especially with the fact that they were down so much and just sort of managed to seal out a win with the points. I didn't think they were going to gain that much. So I have got a video coming out later this week, which I'm really excited for, which is going to be explaining a bit more about why these rankings are so significant. So hopefully you guys are subscribed so you know when that comes out. But you might find some of the graphics are going to be amended slightly because I didn't expect Australia to go above Scotland. Even if they won, I still thought they'd be below Scotland. But Australia finished the year in 6th place, moving up from 8th. Scotland and Argentina, not that they've lost anything or done anything bad, but because Australia move up, they both drop down a place. And then Wales, with that loss, sees them down to 78.9. I think I said in last week's video that I don't think I'd ever seen Wales get below 80. They may have done, but in terms of covering this video series over the last year, checking out these world rankings, I don't think I've ever seen them this low before. Even playing video games of rugby, I don't think I've ever seen Wales rated 79. Down to 78, and in all honesty, it's not that far away from Japan. Japan are very close to being able to get above Wales in that top 10, which would be an enormous achievement for them. The gap's a little bit bigger moving further down the board now, seeing where teams finish off. Obviously, Italy had quite a good year in terms of their tier 1 games and how well they were doing, beating both Wales and Australia this year. Sees them finish in 12th, still behind Samoa and Japan. I feel like, even though I know we've seen games between these 2 teams, I feel like right now, if these 2 teams were to play each other, I would probably pick Italy to win over Samoa. Not to take anything away from Samoa by any means, but the points difference is quite close between them. So, you know, very close to both being in that 11th spot. But Japan will be pretty happy to still be holding on to that top 10 region. Fiji have dropped down, not necessarily had the best sort of year for them. They've had some good games, but no real sort of mega wins to talk about, or nothing that I can think of off the top of my head. We've got a couple of other teams here that are, of course, going to be in that World Cup. We've got teams like Portugal now in that top 18. Tonga getting themselves up there as well. Uruguay. These top 20 teams all fighting out. Chile, they're in there as well. They're still in there in their 22nd position. So nothing else to talk about going down there. So the key events to talk about at the end of the year then. Ireland hold out the number 1 spot at the end of 2022. France in that close second, only about half a point down in 2nd place. New Zealand and South Africa are basically there on a joint 3rd. So those teams all absolutely fighting it out now, all of which are in pools A and B for the World Cup. So the top 4, we ain't seeing any of these 2 teams in the finals, unfortunately. And then the separation out here, England, Australia, Scotland, Argentina, Wales dropping into 9th. and very nearly 10th, and finally Japan holding out in 10th. So well done to Ireland for getting up to that world number 1 and managing to seal it out with some good games over the autumn. On to the community polls there. Now, I didn't really do like a, which game we're most excited for. There were 2 games, and I really expected to be just an Australia win and then a real good game between England and South Africa. So I thought it'd be a bit of a rubbish poll. So what I actually did is, who were you guys thinking were going to win each game? Now, this was quite surprising, actually. Now, I really expected the England-South Africa one to be a little bit closer. I really thought the bookies had it down as there was only going to be 1 or 2 points in it. I can't remember what I predicted in the preview video. I think I only said by about 4, 5, 6 points or something like that. But that is quite an expansive difference. There's 146 people took part in this vote, so thank you to everyone who did take part. But only 13% thought England, 87% thought South Africa. There was a lot of confidence going in for that South Africa game, and those 87% absolutely correct. And then the Wales-Australia game I thought was closer than I expected it to be. I really thought Australia would come in and just dominate that game. Seeing the performance Wales had against Georgia compared to what Australia did against Ireland. I know Australia out with a lot of injuries. Wales had a thing to prove. But I really expected that one to actually be higher and Wales to be quite low down. So that was quite surprising to me as well. 80 people taking part in this one, so thank you to everyone who did in that one. And yeah, couldn't that have been a weird upset in terms of the poll? Wales doing so well for a good chunk of that game, and then just throwing it away. If you haven't seen the review video, it's on the channel. You can see my reaction to that game. But I have really enjoyed doing these polls. This is something new to the channel, something I've started doing literally across like this autumn tour. So hopefully when we get around to the Six Nations, you guys will all still be watching the channel, and I'll be putting more of these polls out because I actually find this a lot of fun to be engaging with you guys and seeing your thoughts and stuff. I do find it a lot of fun, so hopefully you all do too. On to the Superbrew then. Only 2 games to go over. It's going to be shorter Superbrew coverage, but of course, everyone's after that top spot. Who's going to be able to take it? Now, if you have a look over at the choosing of the match, this section over here, you might see there's a lot of red, and you're like, wait, oh, hang on, Mad Dragon, what's going on there? I happen to remember in the preview videos you said you predicted Australia and South Africa to win, and yet you got all red. Well, I thought I was going to be tactical. I thought I'm not doing very well. I thought I'd mix it up a bit. So even though I predicted South Africa and Australia to win, and I thought they would, I decided to be tactical and thought most every single person in this tournament that's in the group would probably think the exact same way as me. So I decided to pick the opposite way, thinking maybe it'll go completely the opposite way and I'll win loads of points and suddenly shoot back up the board. It didn't really go that way. It didn't work out how I thought it was, because checking out the first game, Wales versus Australia, half of you guys also thought Wales were going to win, unless everyone took the same approach I did. I'm not sure what happened there. I expected to be the only person to pick Wales and maybe sneak a clever win. So I shouldn't have done that. Don't try and play tactically. I should have just stuck with it. I can't remember what I said in the preview video. I think I said Australia by about 4 or 5 points. And what did they win by? By 5. I probably could have had some really good points. Didn't do that. Bite my own self in the butt there. But Top Notch Rugby did get it bang on with Australia. Managed to take that bonus point. Rugby 15, very close on 6 points. A couple of other people picking Australia. No too crazy things. Coming away for the draw, which is quite exciting because it could have been. It was going that way at one point. Could have gone that way. So 2 people actually getting the half point there. Irish Dude and ALF also managing to get half point for being within that range. The rest was going for Wales. Yeah, we were wrong, weren't we? At one point, we really weren't. At one point, it was looking like we were absolutely going to be right, and I thought I'd played an absolute blinder in this round, especially for someone like Oscar when Wales were up into the double figures ahead. Man, that would have been some clean sweeper points out there, but not to be. So congratulations to Top Notch Rugby for getting that one bang on. And then in terms of the England versus South Africa game, this one again, quite surprising. It was like 50-50. The community poll was, what did I just say it was, like 80% to 20%? What are you guys doing? Leave me in my tactical position. No, didn't work. Everyone came and joined with me. Bagging Machine went out there on the 17 to England as well. Did anyone get it right? Betterav got the closest on 14. And the difference was exactly 14. Hey, fair play. Betterav got there exactly bang on. Top Notch Rugby and Pierre pretty close in there. I can't remember what I said in the preview for this one. I think I said South Africa by 6. So I wouldn't have got the bonus point there. So had I have done what I went with in my gut feeling for the preview videos, I actually would have got like another 1.5 points. But I'm not sure that would have shifted up too much. In terms of the rounds then, technically is Top Notch Rugby, but Betterav also joining them. 2 picks on 2 wins, 2 match points, 2 bonus points. but that TDM, just getting that point difference ever so close. So it's a 3-4. I don't mind if you guys want to call that like a joint win, because I know we're a fun community, everyone enjoys this, but yeah, that's a really harsh way to lose out on the top spot of the round. Rugby 15 also getting both of them correct, but just missing out on that bonus point sees you come in on third, very close to that top spot though. Connor does Rugby and Sambuca both there on 2.5. Bowie goes on 2, Pierre on 1.5 alongside of ALF and Schmittings UK. Roach and Alex both on 1. Irish Dude gets 0.5. And then you come down to the rest of us. The community of losers down here that got none of them correct. Absolutely wonderful. I'm glad I'm not the only one, though, to be fair. So we're all there on 0. Hello to everyone that joined me there in the 0 group. But what does it mean in terms of the leaderboards? How does it shift up? Well, not what I expected to be saying here, but Bowie manages to win the round. In all honesty, from having seen some of the results over the last few weeks, not paying too much attention to the leaderboards and how they were going, I feel like I've said names like Bubbles, Pierre, Top Notch Rugby. I actually feel like I've probably said their names more than you, Bowie, so hopefully you've taken no offence by the fact I've probably said your name less. But an incredible round, 24 win points, totaling 30 points overall, with a mega close joint second place between Connor Does Rugby and Bubbles, 29.83. 0.17 away from the joint win there. Again, the TDM, only 3 difference over the course of 360 odd points. Absolutely mad how close you guys got. So congratulations to Bowie for winning, Connor Does Rugby for coming second. I guess we'll call it second because of the TDM, or joint second if you want to, with Bubbles getting along there. Betterav came extremely close as well on 29.33. Pierre and Top Notch Rugby both moving up in this final round, both ending on 28.5, but the difference for you guys being the win points. Pierre got more win points, so not the TDM difference there. I'll let you guys fight that one out in the comments. Oscar, All Blacks Forever, and ALF all fall down a couple of places, but still finishing that high 20s, very respectable. Dave there on 25, the only man out there. I'm just behind Dave. I scored 24. I actually think that's kind of like reasonable for me. I don't tend to do very well at the predictor series, but had I have gone with my gut instinct, I would have had that 1.5 extra. Man, I could have got in the top 10, guys. I could have done it. But well done today for getting into that top 10. Roach, Sambuca, and Rugby 15 all move up a couple of places, still in that 20-point region. Lord Nicholas drops down into 15th, but does end on 22. Alex is the final one, managing to get in there on the 20 mark. The rest of you guys there on the teens. Bagging Machine with some fantastic picks over this series. I've really enjoyed having a read through them all. Finishes on 19, still incredibly high. I feel really harsh that you've got the wooden spoon there. We all got a wooden spoon. It's not just you, Bagging Machine. WRU 14, T Davis, Dan Khan Roach, Schmittings UK, 11J said, Thomas Cole 07, and Irish Dude, unfortunately down there at the bottom on 5.5. Things went terribly wrong somewhere along the way for you, but thank you to everyone who has got involved with it. I really enjoy doing this. Hopefully you guys enjoy these sorts of videos too. I really like giving something a bit back and getting to involve you guys a bit more. I'm really enjoying this sort of series. So when it comes around to the Six Nations, I'm really looking forward to starting another one of these up, but alongside of this will hopefully be the team fantasy one, where you actually build a team and correct players and stuff. I tend to do better at that one than this one. I'm rubbish at picking wins, but I can pick good players. That's about what I can do. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel so that you guys know when that video is live, as soon as it is up, when we get closer to the Six Nations, so that you can join in the group. Maybe we'll be able to break the 30 players. We've for the past couple of tournaments actually got into the 20 mark region, which is awesome, to be fair. That is like an actual percentage of the subscribers actually get involved with this. So I really thank you to everyone who does get involved. Hopefully you've enjoyed the coverage over the cross of this Autumn Nations. There's no more international rugby for the rest of the year. Doesn't mean there won't be any videos. I have actually got a couple of really fun ideas that I want to do. Like I said, there's going to be one to do with the world rankings coming out, hopefully this week, maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on when I can get it done and fix some of my graphics and stuff. So make sure you are keeping an eye out for when that video goes live. And I'm actually tempted towards the end of Christmas doing a few more live streams. Because we've got no more international rugby to actually cover, I thought it'd be fun. We can jump on, we can either just do like sort of videos like this where we just go over some stuff. But I really enjoy the ones where we just sort of chuck on some Rugby 22 and play some of the games that happened over the Autumn Nations. And we can just chat about rugby. You guys jump in the chat. Some of you guys have some really good questions and we all get into it, and thoughts on teams and coaches and players and all that fun stuff. So if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed. Turn on that notification bell so that you know when I go live. If I do live streams and stuff, I'll tend to say at the start of the week. I'm going to live stream on this day, may even put some community polls out about what times would be best for you guys to watch. So make sure you are keeping an eye on the channel. But I hope you've all enjoyed this one today, guys. Thank you so much to everyone who did join in with the Superbrew and has supported the channel. The channel's done really well over this Autumn Nations. I'll see you all next time, guys. Bye-bye.